Hey guys, it's been I'd wanted to do a 1 year update for the Dad's Food Forest project, and I missed it. So I'm about a year and a month. So let's go with a 13-month update. So I went back through the videos on YouTube, and my bare dirt one was or clean slate, I think is what I called it, was April, about a month ago, a year. And so I thought it would be good to see where's it at. Um, I've done a lot. I've not done as much as I'd hoped to do. But all in all, I'm pretty happy with where I am with the process, considering this is a play space, not really a production space. Now, there's some production space in between, but it's come along. We've done a lot of stuff. So I'm going to take the same path that I took back then because there was a fence blocking me before. So I'll walk that way as we did. So these are some of our garden beds, and we're in transition. So we're pulling up the corn. The berries, we haven't decided. This whole bed was strawberries, and now it's strawberries and weeds and a few onions and that sort of thing. So those onions are actually ready to go. We haven't decided what we're going to do. We just yank the berries and start over again next time, or if we see if we can get them through summer somehow, either pot some up, or I'm not sure. We're still getting some green beans. We've had lots of papayas. It's a rainy day. It's supposed to be rainy all day, so we plan to lounge and do nothing. And as it turns out, not so much rain. We got a little bit, but not much. You can tell that was the pond out there, which is completely dry right now. And that water came all the way out to there. You can see all the border plants. And I believe last year it went all the way up to that fence. And this year, nothing. So we've had really, really low rainfall. And even when it's come this past month or so, it skipped us and went right on around us. So the last time when I did the full year thing, I actually just kind of pointed it and said, and there's some stuff over there. So I'll go up this time and show you, because I don't think I've ever come up this way to show what all we have. It's all young, but it's getting there. So we've got way up there, there's a really pitiful plum tree that just hangs in there. I keep waiting for it to die, but it doesn't die. It just stays there. As you come around the corner, in the absolute corner, we've got a carambola starfruit. We've got another plum over here, intermixed with plumbago or plumbago, or however you call it. And there was a fence right here. We had to actually pull it. Our septic went out 2 years into our new house, and so the drain field was shot, so we had to put in a mound. So we moved the fence back a little bit, and we've got that little wooded area. I haven't done anything yet, but we've got a few citrus. There's one. We've got a little avocado. This is a lila type, but it's called Ooh La La. It's from University of Louisiana or something like that. But it's fruiting. We got some avocados off it last time. It's got a few on it again this time, so pretty cool. That's supposed to be a blood orange that somebody gave me. Kumquat. And then over here we've got some more citrus. And then we've got our blackberries. This is a pretty pitiful little bed, but they're just starting to show up. So they've been struggling a little bit, but we got some decent size berries. You can see they're not too bad. Better than a sharp stick in the eye, right? They're pretty good. More citrus, and then that guava. This guava's giving us lots of fruit. I'm sitting here mowing on my blackberries because they're good. The guava's got fruit on it. It goes pretty good. It's not huge yet, but it's growing. These are another batch of blackberries, but they're newer. We just planted these not long ago. I'm just using the string line for trellising. We got some Egyptian mocking onions going there. And then we'll make our way around so I don't make this a 2-hour video. This bed we threw in at the end of our system just to kind of bring everybody in. So we have all kinds of flowers, and this is really more my wife's play space. The kids and I dumped, I don't know how many bags of old seeds of all different kinds of flowers. The cosmos is obviously winning because it apparently is the biggest player in some of those gardens. But we've got all kinds of things coming and going, and I threw daikon in to see how it would do, and the pests are drawn to it, so it's a really neat attractant to bring all the pest species in, and then all my pollinators come in and have a good time out here. So that's been a fun bed to play with different flowers. This one's on its way out. We've got to flip this bed. We haven't done it yet. We got a few of them flipped, but a few of them we still have to do. That's a brand new bed. My U-pond. So before there was a fence line I had to go around, which is kind of what I'm mimicking when I had the clean slate. I don't believe a year ago there was a slab, so it's a mess in there, but that's where I work. So that's where I have all my potting stuff and whatever projects I got to do out here. I go hang out in there in the shade to get away from it, start all my seedlings. This is a future banana circle. Well, I don't do circles, I do U's, but there's a slope here. So I put the sticks in the ground and I drive around it for a while and just leave them and make sure I'm comfortable with my placement before I start digging. And so they've been there for a while. The stick has been not a problem, and so now I've piled up sticks and banana fronds, and I'll put weeds and all kinds of stuff there. I'll dig out the center, pile up the outside, and then I'll plant my bananas around through here. Little experiment I got going on here. And then lots of young plants that are just getting started, or some are ready to plant out, some are not. But that's kind of where I pull from. I do all my cuttings and seedlings, and it's a big mess. There's probably 30-40 plants in there, and then I bring them out. Same thing over here. I just put some pots instead of a stick. In this case, I have these guavas that I got for like $1 at the Lowe's, and I made kind of a stick pattern on the ground, and I drive around it. I got another banana circle I want to put there, but I want to make sure it's okay. This area is way overgrown, and it's going to be where a lot of these plants move into once I find the time to go dig it all out. But this trailer, I don't really use it. I got 2 of them, and so I use it as my plant nursery. So I put a whole bunch of the seedlings on it, and that way if I need to move them, I can move them all at once. These are just recently potted up for forage banks. And then I have my compost area. It's really not mature compost, but I've been dumping in here. I'm going through it faster than I can give it time to break down. So I'm going to move my worm bin that I have in a different spot over here and try to ramp up my compost game, because I'm potting and I'm planting faster than my compost is breaking down. So I got to catch up. So my yacon bed, I had 1 yacon up in the hill that I planted last year. I harvested it, we ate some. I took some of the bulbs I planted out, so where there was 1, I now have half a dozen of them. This should be pretty good. Some tiny dragon fruits that will grow up and over. I'll show the downhill side first, and then we'll go through. This system I think I featured previously, where I had the moringas and the pigeon peas and the lemongrass. So as soon as the rains really get going, most of this will just get chopped down. And so the lemongrass I'll hack way back and use it as chop and drop fodder around the plants, or feed everything else. This little bed up here was a peanut bed, and I planted these heirloom peanuts, and they were doing awesome, but the rabbits found them. And so they sprout up and then they get chewed back down, and they sprout up and they get chewed back down. So the wild bunnies are enjoying the peanut plants, and they're going to enjoy some pigeon peas soon, because I'm going to cut all these down. We've harvested buckets of pigeon peas from these, maybe 10 or 12, give or take, pigeon peas. And we've got probably 2 5-gallon buckets full of seed pods that we've pulled in, and so we've got plenty of seeds. Sugar cane has replicated, and so we've got more sugar cane, and I'm going to pull it all out of here and move it all down there. So I got a new bed that's kind of ripening, and hopefully once it's ready, I'll move the cane over there. And when I've done that, I'm going to take the malanga, which is over here, It's got a couple pups on it, and I've already potted up a few that were over on the other side, and I'm going to spread those out all the way around, so I'll have one big malanga bed here. The pears are still living. I planted those and I wasn't sure, and they looked pitiful, and they still kind of look pitiful, but they're still going. Some future beds, some loquat. Same thing with all these lemongrass. Once the rain starts going, they say when rainfall exceeds evaporation, that's when you do all your chop and drop. And I'm about to do all that very soon, I hope, if the rain will ever get going. So May, June is what they say. So May is here and dry. One huge bummer about this whole system is that it was all based around that tree. And that tree died, along with several others. So if you look that way, there's several oaks that are all dying. And they say it's the ambrosia beetle and Phytophthora or something, like some kind of fungus that they're spreading. So it is constantly raining these branches all over my system, and yeah, so I spent a lot of time picking up branches and being bummed out that my tree died. There's my other pears right here. It's still alive. Again, still pitiful, but it's kicking. I've harvested a bunch of cassava, and I moved some over here, so I got a whole row of it over here as well. It should keep up with us pretty good. This sucker is still going. It's the American persimmon, name variety, supposed to be awesome, and I keep thinking it's dead, and it keeps coming back. So we'll leave it. As long as it keeps coming back, we'll leave it. And then out, sorry, I'm moving too fast. So out this way, eventually I'm going to have the system keep going, follow that trail, move that fence, and go up beside the cottage, which is our guest cottage. So we're going to keep going down that line and extend the food forest that way. So it's just a natural continuation. And then we are also going to go out that way, but that's going to be a bigger system. So maybe a year from now I'll be talking about the fruit system that I'm going to put in over there, which will be a little bit more orderly than the one I've got out here, because this is my play space. So my blueberry row, I still have two tiny little blueberry plants that are alive, but I moved in this mulberry because why not? So and then this pot I put in because the rabbits keep eating all my sweet potatoes, so I brought the pot in here to plant the sweet potatoes in, hoping that they'll leave it alone. Well, I did two things. I did a boniato and I did a sweet potato. So this cassava is growing over top and hiding the sweet potato, see? And I'm going to leave it here because the rabbits seem to leave the cassava alone, probably because of the cyanogenic compounds, but if it'll work, it'll work, because I got sweet potato growing. I should get some in there. And then same experiment over here with a boniato. I planted a Dominican boniato, and this pot was completely full, overgrowing with boniato, and one night all of them went away. So I don't know if a rabbit jumped up there and left with a full belly, or if maybe a deer came through. I'm not really sure what ate them, but one night all gone. So experiment fail on this side, but we'll come up with another way. All right, so turning around, this is the Namwa bananas. I need to thin those out. I got too many growing in a clump, but they are definitely happy. The chaya has grown very big. I need to eat some of that. Going pretty good. I'll spin around. There's my mango. I think I covered everything over here. I have a little native area that I did right here, so I've got different kind of basically butterfly weeds and different things, and some ground covers, and hopefully lots of flowers. And again, it's more of a beacon to try to get everybody to come in and then work their way into the food forest. So I figure I have one here, I have one way down at the other end of the system over there for the garden, and I'll plant a few more as we go. But I'll go up through here real quick because I'm running long on time. This was the ice cream bean that was a cast off, but it seems to be doing okay. It still looks kind of sickly, but it's doing okay. Figs are doing great. Pomegranate's doing well. I moved a bigger blueberry from a different system over here, so it's taken. So that's pretty good. And I got another one I got to plant. And then we've got some new grapes. I did like a trellis system on the top of a post, so they're 20 feet apart. I planted the grapes in the middle, so I'll go 10 feet in each direction from there. I could go further, but I'm trying to keep them more compact. And I've started branching out over there, so I took down the fencing, so I've got a tithonia out there to help use for drop and drop. But same thing here, where I've got branches coming down, because out on the other side, even more oaks. Look at the size of that sucker. So it's dropping those branches from 50, 60 feet in the air, crashing down. So once it's done, then I'll move over there and I'll do some more work. But in the meantime, there's not much to be done. So my paths are staying pretty clean, other than having to move branches. And I've got 2 more systems here set up for 2 more grapes, all muscadine, just different muscadine varieties. I haven't pruned them yet, so I'll train them up to one line up the pole and tie them off. Right now they're just establishing, because I just planted them not that long ago. They're probably due. They're ready to be trained up. So I'll train them up to the top and then across the top, and then hopefully next year I'll get some fruit, or by the end of the year or something. And that's about it. We got another avocado up here. It's got some fruit, so it's not perfect. It's got one. This is a Joey. So did I actually get the thing? I was looking at it. I wasn't. There you go. I got one little avocado on the Joey. I'll leave him alone. And then all this stuff is the other side of my compost area, so I'll clean all this out at some point. And it's just me and working as I have time to work. 2 kids and a farm with animals, so I don't get a lot of time. I left this side open so I can dump with the tractor, so I get some of the horse manure stuff from our barn, and I'll put it in there. That way I can dump from one side and pull from the other side. And right now this whole area is just where we have 2 pigs keeping up with it and doing their thing and living piggy lives. And I think that's about it on the tour. One day I'll go in there, because I've got some of my shade stuff, so my turmerics. I've got on the edge, I've got some really tiny pineapples going in there right now, and one day I'll go through there. We'll cover that, but it's progress. It's moving along. It's just not as quick as I'd like, but I'm having a good time with it and keeping a pretty steady pace. So hope you enjoy, and I'll check back in later. Thank you.